Fall in love in 7 days a week and won't describe it. I've been trying many things, but nothing comes as close as flying in the same plane as you. Fuck it, we can make a getaway only for two. I know you're really fond of breaking backwards and breaking roads, cool. Got a couple things I think that I could really get used to. You through with dudes are saying that you leaving the bros too. Fuck it, I'm equivalent to something you ain't never seen.
Hi guys, I'm Patrick with Properly Wound and welcome to another New York Minute segment. Today I'm joined by Christian from Theo and Harris. You might know his partners, both Theo and Harris. Maybe not so much Christian. Well, today you're going to get a chance to know him too. He's going to be joining me today instead of Adam, so I hope I found a good partner in him. We are looking around for a good public spot to chat. I'm thinking a nice public park. It's a beautiful overcast Tuesday here in New York, so I think we'll luck out. Anyway guys, stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the episode. So I found Christian. Before the interview, customary when you're in this part of town, you get dumplings. I think he got pork dumplings. Probably gonna enjoy those before we talk. But yeah, interview, I promise, soon. Have you eaten today?
I haven't. No? I had a cup of coffee around 7 a.m. and this is my breakfast and lunch. A little sodium lunch.
Okay.
What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian Zeron. I am the founder of Theo and Harris. My dad's 40th birthday. My dad, to preface, grew up very, very poor in East New York, Brooklyn, like a real ghetto. So the idea of a Rolex, right, in the 60s and 70s, even until today, of course, was it was an imaginary thing. You didn't see people, you know, with Rolexes in the ghetto. So from when he was a little kid, it was that item, right, particularly a GMT master, that kind of served as a goal, a motivation, kind of like an icon, a really meaningful thing that my mother finally gifted to him when he turned 40. And I watched him open the watch, open the box, and he cried. And my dad's a pretty tough guy. So to see a guy that I know is quite reserved and strong and tough kind of tear up, I knew immediately that it wasn't about the watch. You know, watches represented so much more than material. So I dug deeper. Yeah, I'm a millennial, right? So we really don't do things we don't like to do. I tried to work a couple of jobs. I was really bad at them. I worked at a shoe store, I worked at Lord & Taylor, maybe cumulatively 15 hours. And when I realized that I didn't want to do it, I was just bad at it. So I said, you know what, let's take a shot at something that I actually might like. Let's go with watches. So I did. I started buying watches. It really is that simple. I think that people overcomplicate the process of starting, you know, a business. And I just didn't. I knew that I needed inventory, I needed a website, I needed a team. So I just started building those things. And it's just as easy as, you know, going to an antique watch shop, developing a relationship with a local, you know, watchmaker, and then getting a video, you know, content editor. I mean, it's really that simple. It's scaling it that proved to be very difficult. It was scaling it, making it a larger company that really required a lot more intuitive work. But at the start, I feel like people overcomplicate it.
As you can tell, it's pretty busy here. I would love to find a place that we can settle down. I think there's a park just north of us, so we're gonna head there for the rest of our interview.
First, before anything, I have to decide whether or not the watch, even in its best condition, is worth owning. And if that answer is yes, which it most often isn't, there's a lot of garbage in the market, I'll do an entire cost analysis and decide whether or not the price I could bring it to in the market would be fair or viable or anything like that. If that is, you know, correct, if I can bring it to market at an appropriate price, then we go to our watchmaker. We acquire, we bring it to our watchmaker. Usually the turnaround for that is about a month, sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes 3 months. These things are very difficult, particularly sourcing parts. So for something like a Rolex, we'll have a relatively quick turnover of service because the parts are readily available. But for other watches, some obscure Omega movements, for example, it's near impossible, not impossible, just near impossible to find certain replacement parts. So once the watch is serviced or inspected and ultimately guaranteed by our watchmaker, we'll then photograph and list for sale. So what is in store for Theo and Harris? The same hard work, passion, agility, and overall just respect for both watches and our consumers. And wherever those variables bring us is where they bring us. I'm wearing a very, very cool watch. I'm wearing a Rolex reference 1601 in yellow gold. The case is extremely sharp. It's got a gray kind of taupe dial. It's all original, of course, recently serviced. This is a almost period correct. I mean, talking about difference of a couple of years. Presidential bracelet with a hidden clasp. Fold-over clasp, which you usually don't see. But I like those little details. I like, not always, but it is cool sometimes to have those little details that make your watch a little bit different. Those comes with premium, most of the time, but if they're affordable, I do like to have those little touches. I'm not sure what my first watch was. I'm not sure what the first watch I was ever given. I mean, I'm sure that I got certain little toy watches that didn't really click with me. But I know for a fact the first watch that ever meant something to me, the first watch that I looked at, had a wear it with pride, never leave home without it kind of feeling, was a Swatch, white dial. It was in celebration of the Greek Olympics in Athens, '04, I believe. It's a watch that I still wear today. Sometimes actually that's my go-to watch if I know I'm going to be in a room with people wearing hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars of watches on their wrist, because it's kind of the watch that says, forget all of you guys, I'm going back with the basics, So I love that watch very much.
It's a
Swatch.
Olympics watch? The official time recorder for the Olympics?
Yeah, right. I have 5 watches, which is actually not as many as most people would think. I'm one of the biggest vocal evangelists to get people into the watch community. So it's kind of surprising I only have 5. I have my Olympic Swatch. I have my first watch that I purchased, which is a Rolex reference 1601 with a blue dial from 1977. Then I got Cartier Santos Dumont. Beautiful watch, probably one of my favorite Cartier watches of all time. That one's from the 80s. I have a jump hour watch from the 1920s that my parents gifted me for my college graduation. And then I have an Omega that my parents gifted me, an Omega Seamaster, for my 21st birthday. So it's a small collection, it's concise, it's very refined, I think, and I love it. I love it a whole lot. What would they guess, Rolex? Yeah.
Kind of guess Rolex.
Yeah. For me, it's a tie between Rolex and Cartier. I think that the diversity that Rolex offers is unmatched. Rolex has become the king of almost an unimaginable amount of different genres within watch collecting. A Daytona is nothing really like a Submariner. Now they may look similar now, but their purpose, their lifestyle, what they were intended to be, and really what they are at their core is not the same. And you could say the same thing for the GMT. Rolex took their fundamental principles, which were basically built on their incredible understanding of what people are looking for in a watch, which is just such an obvious thing to do, but no one else seems to do it. And they applied it to different lifestyles. How do you not appreciate that? How do you not look at that in awe? But the other brand for me is Cartier. I think that there's no brand in the world that executes refinement, and I mean even like Patek Philippe, than Cartier. From the Crash to the Louis to the Normal to the Open, I mean to every single Cartier vintage, particularly vintage watch, I'm blown away by their ability to reimagine their core just principles. It's unbelievable. Because we have non-negotiable core values. I think it's that simple. What we will ultimately do to convert you to be our client is a different story. It could be a video, it could be an Instagram post, it could be a Facebook message. That's different. But our non-negotiable core values, just honesty, a care for our consumers. Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a big idol of mine, always says, "What's your favorite? What's the best form of marketing? Giving a shit." And that's what we do. And there are so many other shops out there that I have been a personal consumer of before Theo and Harris started, that I felt like a nobody. I felt like someone who literally did not matter, someone who was a checkbook, and that was it. And these are now my competition. I'm not going to go out naming names and stuff like that, but now it's my mission to make everyone feel, not only the day after, but in the years after they make a purchase from Theo and Harris, that they not only made a good decision, but they've been taken care of, and they've felt like a member of our watch family. And that sounds cheesy, but it really is true. So that's why you should buy from Theo and Harris. All right, brother. Take care, buddy.
See you, man. It was a pleasure.
Adios.
All right, guys, so I just wrapped up with Christian. Excellent interview. Really amazing guy. It's so weird because if you watch his channel, I'll highly recommend you watch Theo and Harris's YouTube channel. It's phenomenal. It's also here on YouTube, obviously. I'll put a link down in the description. His personality on that show is pretty much his personality in real life. I mean, he's just a very likable, easy to speak with guy. Really fun interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed some of the pieces that we just featured. Guys, thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button. If you disliked it, I guess that's okay too. If you're a long-time watcher of the channel and haven't subscribed yet, I'll encourage you to subscribe. We do videos like this twice a week. Maybe not the New York Minute segment ones, but our regular content is aired twice a week on Tuesday and Friday. Join us then. But for now, take care, guys, and I will see you on the next one.
Sorry, guys. I'm big on sentimental pieces. I'm big on sentimentality when it comes to, you know, watches particularly. Watches are the one thing that I kind of, you know, get really, really, really excited about more than almost everything else in my life. Not that I don't love, you know, food and family and booze. I love all those things. But as far as kind of a solitude kind of appreciation, you know, I'm not, you know, going to appreciate anything really like a great watch. So yes, I like them to mean something to me. Not every watch has to. The Cartier I have means absolutely nothing to me. It's a watch that I bought because I wanted. That's it. The Rolex Datejust was my first watch, but it meant nothing to me when I bought it. So it doesn't mean that something won't eventually mean something, you know. I look at my Datejust, and that's the watch that started Theo and Harris. I look at my Cartier, and there are a couple of very specific nights at a couple of very specific bars that I remember looking down at and saying, yeah, life is pretty cool right now. So, yeah.
Santos.
Yeah.
Life is pretty cool.
Yeah.